Hi, family. Today, I would like to talk about our kids, how we really need to sit down and spend time with our kids, get to know our kids. You could live in an apartment with somebody and not know him or her. Yet, you could live with somebody and barely see them, but when you do see them, have certain conversations with them and get to know them better than somebody that you even live with. You see, I've always said this, and it might sound strange to you, but me being in jail, I got to know guys in jail that knew more about my life than my own family. We was locked up together. We were cellmates, and we had some deep conversations, and we got to know each other very well. They knew if I was ready to fight. They knew if I was angry. They knew me. They knew me. You see, it's not the same thing than being with somebody as a friend and then living with them. Because when you're not living with them, you don't really know them as much as a person that you've been around with all the time. You see, we have to learn how to talk to our kids from when they're young and get to know them. I think that's where a lot of drug issues come in hand. I always talk about there's different problems in life, and that's one of them. When you're a young kid, you learn how to look up to your father and your mother. But then when your mother and your father don't listen to your cries and listen to you, you'll be hurt. You'll be hurt. You'll be lonely. Just the way we say, there's some people that got family or even have a wife or a husband and still feel lonely because they don't spend that time together. Them conversations that you look forward, them needs that you need to hear. You see what happens, and I've seen that, and it happened to a lot of people that I know, that sometimes we talk to our families and they didn't pay attention. Oh, go to sleep. We'll talk tomorrow. You know? What you whining about now? You know, things like that. I've seen these young guys going outside and talk to the people that's always in the street with nothing to do because they don't really have a life. And they out in the street, the way we say, 24/7. Half the time, they feel nice because they high. And these same kids that talk to their parents go and give these guys a conversation. When they give these guys a conversation, these guys talk to them. Some have spoke constructive stuff and positive stuff. I've been that fortunate that they did talk positive stuff for me. They did try to keep me out of trouble, and I didn't like them. Because I said, they're getting high, they're telling me not to get high. But then you got other kids that don't know any better and wind up talking to people that have nothing to do but besides Misery loves company. And they talk to these kids, and these kids follow their steps. But regardless of what, right, we always find somebody to blame it on. But the reality is, that is a problem. That you have to go outside behind your walls to talk to somebody else and be led the wrong way. Everybody wasn't born the same. Even twins have a different fingerprint. And you know, I say that because we were speaking about this just the other day, about how we tell our kids they could be whatever they want to be. And we came to a conclusion that that's a myth. Everybody was not born to be a doctor. Everybody wasn't born to be a lawyer. Everybody wasn't born to be a football player, a basketball player. But that's what we tell them. The reality is, we have to spend time with our kids to get to know them. It's a shame that we don't sometimes know our own kids because we don't take the time. And I get it that some of us parents that have, mother that don't have a husband and is raising her kids by herself, and it's difficult to work, clean, cook, take care of the kids, tuck them, and do all that, and have a conversation with them. I get it. But you see, we have to try to spend the most time we can with our kids. You see, a good example, sometimes my wife comes from work late, and we don't really get to see each other besides the fact that I be cooking, so when she gets there, she gets here, she could have her food and everything like that. But we find a little bit of time. That's the number one excuse in this world. I don't have any time. My advice to everybody, not just parents, you could be a great siblings and fill in that spot that your mother and your father can't fill in. A great cousin, a great friend. Don't let your loved ones go astray because nobody gives them the time of day to hear them out. We need to hear our kids cry. God made 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. To listen more and talk less. Listen to your kids, and then you give them feedback. You'll be surprised how much that little conversation helps them, because they know they could come to you and you're going to speak to them with open arms and listen to they cry. I know you've heard the story of the 100 sheep, and one goes astray. And if you know that story, you know what I'm getting at. If you get to know your kids, sometimes you got 3 or 4 kids, there's one of them that's lost. Find them. It's Real Talk with Victor. This is just something that I've been through and friends that I know I've been through. This is not meant to down anybody. But none of us are perfect and we make mistakes. Real Talk with Victor. God bless you guys, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.